Hello. Hello and welcome to this evening's webinar on Scottish Apprenticeships. My name is Graham and I am joined tonight by my colleagues in SDS as well as our panel of employers and apprentices. Thank you to Roy and Craig who will be providing BSL interpretation during our webinar. We are delighted to have so many of you joining us tonight. We work for Skills Development Scotland, or SDS as you may know us. SDS is the National Skills Agency for Scotland. We play a critical role in the development of Scotland's apprenticeships. As a parent or carer, you have a key influence in your young person's life and decision making, and we are looking forward to sharing some information and resources with you tonight. This information will hopefully give you a good overview of Scottish apprenticeships. You'll also hear from apprentices and employers about the value and benefits of apprenticeships, how to apply, and the support available to take one. Tonight we'll give you information including useful websites as well as contact details should you wish to get in touch or find out more about apprenticeships or any of our services. But please don't worry about taking notes. We will send all information to you in an email after this session. Before we get started, I need to let you know that our session tonight is being recorded for anyone who can't make it this evening and will be available if you want to watch again. The link to do that will also be sent to you afterwards. We can't see or hear you, so if you'd like to ask a question or make any comments, please use the Q&A box in the right-hand side of your screen. Any questions raised tonight that aren't addressed through our presentation, panel session discussion, or the frequently asked questions session at the end will be included in our follow-up guide that will be issued along with the link to the recording. This webinar will give you an overview of apprenticeships and will let you hear firsthand from employers, a learning provider, and apprentices about the apprenticeship experience. If you have any specific questions, you can get further support via your young person's careers advisor in school or our helpline on 0800 917 8000. Let me quickly run through the format of this evening. You will hear some information around what Scottish Apprenticeship programmes are available, how they work, and where to get more information. We will then have a panel discussion with our guests who have kindly joined us. We will then take some time to go over some frequently asked questions. Remember, if you have a question on something we haven't addressed, please use the Q&A box in the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll include them in our follow-up guide that will be issued along with the link to the recording. I can now introduce SDS Careers Advisor Karen, who will provide an overview of Scottish apprenticeships.
Thanks, Graham. So at this stage, it might be helpful for us to share a little bit about how Skills Development Scotland's career service works, who it's for, what we offer, and how we can support you and the people that you care about to make confident career decisions. And that's about apprenticeships, but so much more. So my name is Karen and I'm a professionally qualified careers advisor. I work with school pupils, school leavers, and also adults across our communities. And that's to ensure that anyone can access career support at the time that's most helpful for them. Now, our career service is universal, and that means that anyone of any age can come to us for free career information, advice, and guidance. You'll also find our careers advisors in every state secondary school in Scotland, and we work across a network of community venues and also SDS centres. Now, we have a free phone helpline, and you'll also find a wide range of resources and tools on our careers websites. So we have My World of Work and also our apprenticeship website, apprenticeships.scot. Now, we'll give you more detail on all of this and also how to get in touch with us in the follow-up guide after this session. But before that, let's have a closer look at apprenticeships. So in Scotland, there are three types of apprenticeships. We have foundation, we have modern apprenticeships, and we also have graduate apprenticeships. In this session, we're going to be looking at these in a little bit more detail, and we're going to be thinking about how work-based learning can open the door to a wide range of different careers. Now, apprenticeships in Scotland, they're developed in close collaboration with employers because it's critical that they actually reflect the real labour market needs that we have in the country, and also that they result in qualifications that are recognised and they're valued by industry. So they focus on areas where we know that there are current and future skill demands. And there's currently over 40,000 people in apprenticeships and work-based learning opportunities in Scotland, with 12,000 different employers. Now, part of the attraction is that they're across a wide range of sectors. So childcare, engineering, accountancy, food and drink, there's life sciences, software development. They all offer an opportunity to gain industry recognised qualifications, and there's also good progression opportunities to advance skills and career aspirations. Now, it is important to say that apprenticeships are for everyone. So apprenticeships exist from school age to job seekers, they're used with career changers, and also by current employees who maybe want to gain formal skills recognition or to progress their careers with their employer. And apprenticeships are designed to be inclusive. So they encourage applicants from a range of backgrounds and circumstances, and that includes individuals with disabilities, those with experience of care, and also those from ethnic minority communities. So we'll start by looking at foundation apprenticeships. Now, foundation apprenticeships are actually a qualification for senior phase pupils in full-time education. So pupils choose them basically as a school subject over 1 or 2 years, and they then sit alongside other subjects in their timetable. Now, foundation apprentices will actually engage with employers to gain the skills that employers need, to learn more about their chosen industry, and also to achieve a valuable work-based learning qualification. They're recognised on the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework as SCQ Level 6. Now, that is the same level as a higher, and they're available in a range of subjects. Now, again, linked to key growth sectors. So we have apprenticeships in engineering, in IT, in scientific technologies, and social services and healthcare, to name just a few. Now, in some local authorities, pupils can also choose to do foundation apprenticeships at SCQ level 4 or 5. So that's the same level as a NAT 4 or a NAT 5. And those foundation apprenticeships we have in areas like automotive, construction and hospitality. So the question is, how are foundation apprenticeships different from other qualifications? Well, they stand out because they combine classroom experience with work-based experience. So pupils are gaining industry experience, which allows them to apply their learning in real settings, but they're also developing the skills that industries genuinely need. And they're also an opportunity to get first-hand experience in sectors that pupils might be interested in, but at the same time, they're getting a recognised work-based qualification. Now, a major benefit is the chance to develop meta skills. Now, these are things like communication, teamwork, problem solving, but they're skills that are essential in the workplace. It's an opportunity to help pupils understand why these skills are so important, but also to evidence them so that they can share them with future employers, with colleges, with universities. Now, completing a foundation apprenticeship, it can actually act as a pathway. So it can be a bridge towards modern and graduate apprenticeships. And in fact, some of the modern apprenticeship frameworks, there's an element of overlap with the foundation apprenticeship. The other real plus is that they're recognised by all Scottish colleges and universities, and that's for entry to further and to higher education courses. Now, most university courses will take them as a higher at A or at B, but importantly, there's no final exam. So they're continuously assessed, which gives learners a chance to demonstrate their skills and competence over time, rather than kind of a traditional end stage assessment. So that's foundation apprenticeships, but what about modern and graduate apprenticeships? Now, they actually have quite a lot in common. So both offer people the chance to work and also learn at the same time. So it's an opportunity to develop skills in the workplace, but also gain an industry recognised work-based qualification. Now, anyone in Scotland who has reached or who is about to reach that statutory school leaving age can apply. And they are open to both new recruits, but also existing staff. And for employers, they're really a great way to bring in new talent and also to tackle skills gaps that they might have in their organisation. Now, most learning takes place in the workplace. and they'll be supported by real tasks, real responsibilities. Some apprentices will also spend time learning off the job. So that could be with a college, a university, or a training provider. And that can give them the perfect mix of practical experience, but with structured study. And as with foundation apprenticeships, modern and graduate apprentices, they continue to develop these meta skills that employers look for to help them build that confidence and capability that they're going to need to progress their careers. Now, there's over 100 different types of modern apprenticeships, and there's qualifications from SCQF level 5, so that's the same level as NAT 5s, right the way up to level 11, so that's the top level in university. So there's a level that could suit every learner at every stage in their career journey. Depending on the subject, a modern apprenticeship can take up to 4 years to complete, but they're a really good way to learn actively while gaining a qualification that's recognised and valued by employers. Graduate apprenticeships are slightly different. So they offer individuals the opportunity to gain a recognised university degree. Now, for a graduate apprenticeship, about 80% of that learning happens in the workplace. So it gives apprentices the opportunity to apply what they're studying directly into the professional world. And it helps them gain the same degree in the same time that it would normally take through full-time university-based study. Now, the qualifications for graduate apprenticeships are delivered from level 9 on the framework to a level 11. And there are opportunities again across key sectors where we know we're going to need highly skilled employees, such as IT, engineering, and finance. Now, depending on the subject and the level, a graduate apprenticeship typically takes between 2 and 5 years to complete. But it can be a really supportive, practical pathway for school leavers, for career changers and experienced workers who want to develop their skills but stay in employment while they're doing it. So individuals who choose to do apprenticeships find that they bring many benefits over and above the actual qualification. One of these is meta skills, the skills for life and work that are critical to navigate the change that they're going to face throughout their careers. And as apprenticeships are developed in partnership with industry, employers can also be confident that apprentices will have the skills that they need to meet current and future demand. And the apprenticeship system, it continues to evolve as jobs and industry changes, and that is critical to ensure that the wider future needs of the economy are taken into account. Now, I appreciate that that might feel like quite a lot of information. So I want to highlight a really good website that can help you find out more about foundation, modern and graduate apprenticeships. If you go to apprenticeship.scot, it will give you information on how to become an apprentice. It also explains all the different types of apprenticeships that are available. It answers a lot of the frequently asked questions, and it also highlights where we've got live apprenticeship vacancies. Importantly, you can also register, so you can set up alerts for specific apprenticeship vacancies that you might be looking for. And it's worth pointing out that an apprenticeship, looking for an apprenticeship is similar to looking for a job. So you will probably need to look in different places. That could be looking at training provider websites. It could be employer websites or job search engines. But I'd say that apprenticeships.scot is a really strong place to start. And another great source of support is our website. So our website is My World of Work, and that offers you great information on jobs and industries, as well as guidance on applying for opportunities and interview advice. So we're going to send out those links with this webinar recording, but let me now pass back to Graham, who is going to give you a bit more information on some key sectors offering opportunities.
Thank you, Karen. We thought it would be useful to share information about industries that are currently in growth in Scotland to help with young people's career decisions. Sectors include energy, engineering and construction, all of which are playing a big part in the drive for Scotland to reach net zero by 2045. Key sectors are those selected by the Scottish Government as having the potential to grow, making Scotland more economically competitive, and which they support both through financial investment and by creating more opportunities to study and work in these areas. This creates more and better opportunities for people working or starting a business in Scotland. For example, people are better paid, there are more job opportunities at higher professional levels, and opportunities for progression. In order to grow, each of these sectors needs the right elements. One of the key needs is a supply of people with the right skills and qualifications, and ongoing upskilling and future-focused leadership within the sectors. If there is an issue with this supply, it can mean that the sector may not grow. This is why it may be a growth sector, but may also show forecast decline. Tonight, we're going to hear from apprentices working in two important growth sectors. And so, we're now going to open up for discussion with our panel members this evening. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to our panel members who are on the call tonight. Welcome to Donna Montgomery, the Community Benefits Manager at Perth Fenestration Business, SIDE. Good evening to Ryan Sim, a SIDE Fenestration Installation Modern Apprentice since 2024, who is a finalist for Apprentice of the Year at Perthshire Chamber of Commerce Business Awards. To share the point of view of an apprentice learning provider, I'd like to welcome Deborah Tracy, Director at Direct Partners, which won the Leading in Learning Provision category in the 2025 Scottish Apprenticeship Awards. And last, but by no means least, welcome to Kieran McDougall, a Data Insight Administrator who joined Direct Partners as a Junior Administrator under the Modern Apprenticeship in Digital Applications and has progressed in his role, recently completing a Modern Apprenticeship in Data Analytics. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's fantastic to have you all on the panel to talk about Scottish Apprenticeships. Karen will remain with us too. Firstly, let me turn to you, Donna, from an employer perspective. What sector does SIDE work in, and what are the benefits of apprenticeships to the business?
Hi, Graham. SIDE sits across the construction and manufacturing sectors. We make and install windows and doors across the whole of Scotland. To do that, we depend on skilled fenestration installers. Around sort of 2020, during COVID, we experienced a real shortage of skilled labour in our industry, and we decided that we needed to invest in apprenticeships. So in 2022, we started our own apprenticeship scheme and opened our training academy. And we took on apprentice installers like Ryan every year since then.
Thank you. When you're looking for apprentice candidates, what qualities do you look for? Or is it particular qualifications?
So for our apprentice installers, we prefer to have a specific qualification. We ask them to first attend college to do either a joinery and carpentry, NPA or construction multi-skills. But those are not essential. What we are looking for above anything else is character, commitment, hard work ethic, the skills we can teach, those things the apprentices bring with them.
Thanks, Donna. The final question for you at this point, how do you recruit for your apprentices?
So we post advertisements on our website, side.co.uk, and we also use apprentice.scot. As I said, we recruit annually, so we tie our recruitment period to the end of the academic year. So we normally post vacancies around kind of April, May time. And because we install nationally, we'll advertise vacancies by region. So when we post a job advertisement, it'll be region specific. So it might say Glasgow or Perth or Dundee.
Thank you very much. Deborah, you're Kieran's employer, but you are also his learning provider, and your company has trained thousands of apprentices. Can you explain the way apprenticeships work with both academic learning and working on the job? And does this vary depending on the type of apprenticeship taken?
Yeah, apprenticeships function as a blended learning model, combining on-the-job work experience with reflective learning and skill development. So as an apprentice, you're an employee, taking on real responsibilities of the job, supported by experienced staff and following an individual learning plan. So the plan is designed to help the apprentice become an effective contributor in the workplace. As a general rule, 80% of the time is spent learning on the job, 20% is allocated to learning new skills, and developing knowledge and understanding of the job. So the apprentice learns and earns. So it's a great way to transition into the world of work.
Thank you very much. Ryan, I think this is a good time to turn to you. As a modern apprentice with SIDE, having gone through the process, how did you find out apprenticeships with SIDE?
So when I was at school, there was an opportunity to go to SIDE for an open day and just to see what it was all about. And when I was there, I really thought it was really good when I was there and just had a really good time. And I was just, when I wanted the job, I thought I wanted to do something in construction.
Brilliant. Why did an apprenticeship seem like a good option to get into a career in construction?
Just because it runs in my family, and I just thought it was the best thing for me, considering I don't like sitting at a desk and I quite like being hands-on.
Thanks, Ryan. Before your apprenticeship, you went to college. Now you've experienced both paths. How have each of these experiences helped you?
Well, college and the apprenticeship were just as important as each other. But college gave me the basic skills that led me into my job, that a lot of the stuff I didn't need taught. But the good stuff about college was like it was really laid back. So it was a transition from school where you get the long periods of time off to on work. Like in college, but it was only 3 days a week. Then the transition into the full 5 days at work.
Thank you. Very insightful. Karen, can you give some advice on how to find out more information on and finding and applying for apprenticeships, such as the help a careers advisor can give in school or post school?
Absolutely, yeah. So finding and applying for apprenticeships, I'd say be confident, leave no stone unturned. So apprenticeships.scot, brilliant place to start. Employer websites, as we were just hearing, you can find good opportunities there. Job search platforms, social media, also things like reaching out to employees. Maybe they're not advertising, but could they offer you an apprenticeship? And networks is crucial. So does anyone in your family or your friends know people who might be able to speak to you about apprenticeships? In school, we give loads of support around kind of research, but also choosing subjects. We help with application forms. We can do CVs. There's loads of stuff we can do in school. But also if maybe you're an adult or someone who's left school, we can provide ongoing support. So we work through school holidays. We can meet people in libraries, over the phone, video calls. There's lots of stuff we can do. So if someone's thinking about an apprenticeship and needing a bit of support, we can definitely help with that.
Thank you, Karen. Ryan, can you give us an idea of what you do in your apprenticeship and how this has changed from first year to your typical working day now?
So when I first started, it was mostly just the basics. I just learned, like starting out, seeing how the whole situation operates, with like laying out dust sheets and prepping the job site for what's been going on. But to now, it's like all the pressure's on you. There's no experienced installer to lean on, and you have to do everything yourself.
Thank you. Kieran, I think this would be a good time to bring you in. Kieran, can you tell us why you wanted to take an apprenticeship?
Yes. When I left school, I actually went to college first, but if I'm honest, I didn't really know what I wanted to do long term. So very quickly, I realised that college didn't suit my learning style. I've always learned better by doing, and sitting in a classroom learning theory without applying it or knowing that I will apply it in the future felt disconnected for me. I wanted something more practical and something that would help me figure out what I actually enjoyed, not what I thought I might enjoy. That was what led me to consider an apprenticeship.
Thank you. And what was your route into finding that apprenticeship?
I joined a Pathways into Apprenticeship programme. It was designed to help young people move into work and apprenticeships during COVID. That programme was a turning point because it gave me structure, workplace exposure, business skills, and built on my confidence. Shortly after completing it, I started working and began a modern apprenticeship in digital applications. From that point on, I was earning, learning, and building an experience at the same time.
Excellent. Can you tell us a bit more how you have progressed in your career through apprenticeships?
So my first apprenticeship was tailored to my job role at the time. So everything I learned, I got to apply immediately in my job. That helped me improve quickly and take on more responsibilities. Through that experience, I realised I was particularly interested in data, and how systems connect and how businesses use information to make decisions. That allowed me to complete a second modern apprenticeship in data analytics. That progression allowed me to specialise and step into a more technical role and become a go-to person within my own area of the business. So the apprenticeship didn't just give me qualifications, it gave me that direction and my career growth from there.
Thank you very much. And finally, for yourself, can you tell us a bit about the responsibilities you have been given on your apprenticeships?
Yeah, so from early on, I was trusted with real responsibilities. I was managing digital systems, improving internal processes, analysing data, and contributing to decision making. Because I was learning while working, I could immediately apply improvements and show impact. Over time, trust grew, and so did my responsibilities.
Thank you very much. Deborah, can you explain the support the apprentice gets from a learning provider?
Yeah, for sure. The training provider acts as a partner to the learner and the employer, providing a structured, supportive environment with a focus on personal and professional development. We create individual learning plans, and this maps the apprentice learning journey from the start to the end goal. We deliver off-the-job training sessions, provide mentorship and support. We make assessment decisions and provide feedback on apprenticeship, on progress, achieving your apprenticeship and really developing your professional self.
Thank you. We know that many parents and carers have concerns about the support offered on an apprenticeship for people with additional support needs. Can you give some examples of the help and support you offer to anyone with ASN as a learning provider?
Yeah, we discuss and agree with learners any support needs they may have. That can range from dyslexia, anxiety, autism, ADHD, English as a second language. We can make recommendations for reasonable adjustments. This could be additional one-to-one support, making changes to the training plan, providing specialist equipment. 40% of learners access our additional support services. So in the main, we eliminate any potential barriers to participation, ensuring apprenticeships provide equal and inclusive opportunities for all applicants.
Thank you. Donna, as an employer, can you tell us about the support given to an apprentice whilst on the job?
Yeah, of course. I like to think that we have a wee support network around our apprentices. Our apprentice installers are predominantly working out on site. So first and foremost, the relationship that they have with their journeyman or lead installers is really, really important. They're in a van with them for 2 hours a day. They're out on site for another 6. So it's not just a passing on of skills, it's a personal relationship that's really, really important there. Then we have our learning provider, RT Resources. They've been absolutely fantastic, supporting SIDE, our apprentices, particularly where there's any additional support needs. They've been able to identify things that weren't immediately declared to us at the beginning and allow us to build in additional support to ensure that the apprentice sails through the apprenticeship period and gains their qualification at the end of it. So we'll make any adjustments that are required. Myself and my counterpart in the training academy, our joinery manager, again, a sort of a third element of support for our apprentices. All of these people are dedicated and focused on the welfare of our apprentices, making sure they get through the 18 months of their training and that they have everything they need to achieve their qualification.
Thank you very much. Kieran, has there been more to the apprenticeship than learning the skills for a job? How have you developed in other ways for it?
There definitely has been more to it. The biggest development for me has been actually my communication and confidence. When I left school, I struggled with professional communication, speaking in meetings, picking up the phone, challenging ideas respectfully. Working in a real environment helps you to grow in those areas. I've developed teamwork, self-management, resilience, and discipline, especially balancing my work and my responsibilities alongside qualification deadlines. It's impacted my personal life too, where I feel far more confident and assured in myself overall.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Kieran. It's great to see you doing this tonight. You'll be on the back of some of that. Donna, what are the long-term opportunities for your apprentices?
We want our apprentices to stay at Sidey forever and ever. We never want them to leave. Our joint managing director, he started off many years ago as an apprentice installer at some point in his career. So there's plenty of career opportunities available within a medium-sized business like Sidey. If they don't want to remain installers, they can diversify into other aspects of site management or surveying or sales and marketing. If at some point in time they choose to move on from the fenestration industry, there's the wider construction sector and manufacturing, and even out with that, I hope there's a whole host of skills that our apprentices will have gained through achieving their qualification vocationally, and the skills that they've learned through Sidey. It will take them into a career further in the future that will advantage them.
Thank you very much. So a real benefit to an apprenticeship is it's just the start of an opportunity to develop in a company. Kieran, what would you say are some of the big benefits of taking an apprenticeship?
There are three big ones for me. First was earning whilst learning, being able to gain qualifications and experience without taking on student debt, or that financial independence makes a huge difference. Second was the relevance of the qualification. Everything I learned was directly linked to my job, so nothing felt wasted. And third is clarity. Because I was in a real working environment, I figured out through hands-on experience exactly what I wanted to specialise in.
Thank you very much. Ryan, what would you say are some of the other benefits of an apprenticeship?
Yeah, I agree a lot with Kieran. It's mostly just practically doing the job whilst also earning money is the main benefit. And with me, just like getting hands-on and learning from people who are way more experienced than me just coming into it, that you're learning from the best people. There's no one really better to learn from than people who have been doing the job for years and years and years.
Excellent, thank you. Finally, Ryan, looking at the support you have been given and what you have learned and achieved from your apprenticeship, would you say you are more employable now because of the apprenticeship?
Definitely, because one, I've got more experience just in the building trade as a whole, but I've also gained a skill for life. So even if I want to walk away, I can still come back. I can always lean on the qualifications that I've gained. And I'm only 18, so I've got many years ahead.
Great answer. And what about you, Kieran?
I definitely feel more employable now. It's not just having the qualification, but having that alongside real workplace experience and the communication, confidence, and proven competence that comes along with that. If I applied for a job tomorrow, I'd be competing with both experience and qualifications, which that combination is incredibly powerful and important. For me, choosing an apprenticeship was undoubtedly the right option, and looking back, I feel like I've not wasted a single year.
Thank you very much. You've both explained so many benefits to taking an apprenticeship, and it shows that your experiences as apprentices have led you both to success. I'd like to congratulate you both and thank you all for your time to give people a better idea about taking an apprenticeship. Thanks to Donna, Deborah, Ryan, Kieran and Karen. I'm now going to ask my colleague Emma to go through some frequently asked questions about apprenticeships in general. These are questions that we've received from you in advance of the session, which will hopefully answer some of the queries you may have this evening. Hi, Emma.
Hiya, Graham. That's a great idea. Thanks. We can work through them whilst we have time. I've noticed there's lots of chat and questions that hopefully have been answered throughout the session, but also this will help to clarify some of those points as well. So our first frequently asked question is, can a young person go from a foundation or modern apprenticeship to a graduate apprenticeship?
Absolutely, yes. If they've completed a foundation apprenticeship or modern apprenticeship in the same subject area, they can apply to become a graduate apprentice studying the same subject, if there are vacancies and they meet the entry requirements. It's also possible to progress to a graduate apprenticeship if they've completed a previous apprenticeship in a different subject area. Graduate apprenticeships are designed so that individuals do not repeat previous learning and recognise any prior learning or experience.
Thanks for that.
Another question is, what employment terms and conditions can individuals expect whilst they're on a modern or graduate apprenticeship?
Modern and graduate apprenticeships are classed as employed status, and as such, individuals will be bound by the terms and conditions of their employer, which will vary from organisation to organisation. Find out more about individual rights on the My World of Work website.
Okay, great, thanks. Another one is, how much does a modern apprentice get paid?
A very important question indeed. Salaries range depending on what employer set. However, there is a minimum salary which increases based on age or stage of apprenticeship. You will find more information on the Scottish Government website www.gov.uk/become apprentice pay and conditions. Some vacancies on apprenticeship.scot will also show you current salaries offered, and just as a reminder folks, we will be circulating this afterwards so you can see that link.
Yep, brilliant, thanks. Another one is, some parents and carers have said that they are worried if their child has a support need that may be a barrier. And I know that we've touched on that a little bit through the panel session, but what support is available for them?
So there is support available for every apprentice who has a support need across foundation, modern and graduate apprenticeships. And this can be tailored to the individual's need by the school, employer and learning provider. Some employers will declare that they are disability confident when they are recruiting, and you can filter for those apprenticeships when searching for vacancies on apprenticeships.scot. You can also find out more about supporting during your apprenticeship at apprenticeships.scot. We will share this link in our follow-up guide.
Great, so there's lots more on the website. Another one, do you need to be a specific age to apply for a modern or graduate apprenticeship? And that did definitely come up in the chat there.
It's a very common question. So you can apply to start once you reach your school leaving age at 16 or over. Some vacancies might be for ages 18 and over because of specific health and safety requirements, and some vacancies might target a specific age, but this will be made clear in any vacancy post or advert.
Okay, thank you. Do you need to have any specific qualifications to take an apprenticeship?
Another very common question, Emma, thanks for this one. The answer is not always. It depends on the type of apprenticeship and any other specification from the employer on the vacancy. There is an area on apprenticeship.scot that provides information on every apprenticeship and includes indicative entry requirements. No specific qualification is set to choose a foundation apprenticeship as a subject school. However, some schools will advise pupils to help manage their expectations of the foundation apprenticeship qualification. To become a modern or graduate apprentice, you should be at the legal age to leave school in Scotland. You can apply before you leave school or any time after that. You must have left school before you start the apprenticeship. There's no maximum age to do a modern or graduate apprenticeship, but the funding an employer, a learning provider receives for some apprenticeships is different if you're aged 25 or over.
Thanks. Another one, what's the eligibility for taking a modern or graduate apprenticeship?
So the eligibility is that you can apply for a Scottish apprenticeship if you'll be a Scottish resident for the whole of your apprenticeship, you have the right to work in the UK, the business you work for as an apprentice is based in Scotland, and you're a Scottish resident if you live in Scotland and either have only one place of residence, which is in Scotland, or if you have more than one place of residence, your main place of residence is in Scotland. Now, having a main place of residence in Scotland means you reside for more days of each UK tax year at your residence in Scotland than in any other place of residence. A UK tax year runs from 6th of April in one year to 5th of April in the next year. The Citizens Advice website can provide more information about your rights to work in the UK.
Thank you. Do individuals have to apply for funding from the Student Awards Agency Scotland, SAS, to cover tuition fees in their graduate apprenticeship?
Yes, and this applies only to graduate apprenticeships. Individuals must apply to SAS annually for each year of their course for tuition fees, which will be paid directly by SAS to the university they attend. For more information on funding for graduate apprenticeships, please visit the SAS website.
Can you do an apprenticeship if you have a higher national certificate?
Answer yes, you could still do a modern apprenticeship if you have an HNC, but it might influence the funding provided for your training and which level of apprenticeship you choose. To be eligible for funding, you need to be gaining significant new knowledge and skills for your job role. A HNC is at SEQF level 7. You might be able to do a SEQF level 7 modern apprenticeship if you're gaining new knowledge and skills. You may not be required to resit learning that you've done before. If your existing qualification is at a higher level, you may be better suited for a technical apprenticeship, SEQF level 8 or 9, or a graduate apprenticeship, SEQF level 9+. These are designed for people who already have higher level qualifications or experience.
Thank you. Why are there no apprenticeships in the type of job my young person wants to go into?
So it's really important to emphasise that apprenticeships are jobs. It's employers can recruit at any time, like any other job. So it's important to keep checking job sites like apprenticeships.scot, where you can filter by type and by postcode or area. Some learning providers working with employers on certain apprenticeships will have specific timings for intakes. So it's worth checking with the providers that train in the apprenticeship your young person is interested in to get an idea of when new opportunities may be available. Your young person can also try contacting employers direct to ask if they would be interested in starting them as an apprentice. Thanks, Emma. I hope these questions and answers were useful. However, if there's something that we didn't cover, then please use the chat box on the right-hand side, and we will include this in the handout that will be sent after the session. If you had any questions about a specific issue relating to a personal circumstance, please get help from the careers advisor in school, on the telephone, on your local area, using the contact details we provide tonight and in our post-event information pack. Now, let me remind you the places you can go to find out more about Scottish Apprenticeships, where you can get support and where you can apply for vacancies. You can visit www.apprenticeships.scot as mentioned. This will list most Scottish apprenticeships available under the vacancy search. However, it is important to remember to also look on other sites such as employer websites, job search and social media websites, as well as speculative applications to employers. There is also lots of useful information and support for you and your young person on our careers website, www.myworldofwork.co.uk. SDS has careers advisors in every state school in Scotland, offering support through one-to-one appointments, group work and drop-ins to help your young person with their career planning. You can contact your school to find out who your child's careers advisor is and how to contact them. Additionally, we offer an all-age career service across our centres and community spaces across Scotland. You can book an appointment by contacting our helpline on 0800 917 8000. Please don't worry if you aren't able to take down all the details, as we will send them out to you soon after this session. So that's us coming to the end of the webinar. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you found the session useful. And on behalf of myself, Emma, Amber, Karen, all of our panel members this evening, and the rest of the team at SDS, thank you for joining us this evening and have a good night. Take care.